Hello, my name is Lorenzo Matthews, and I'm taking the 5160 database class. I I've never done Oracle, so a lot of you haven't done it either. So I thought I'd show you some of the little help features to help you understand Oracle a little better. One of the first things you can do is to actually go and load the Oracle database on your machine at home. Here you see the getting started screen. The version of Oracle that I loaded and I think is the best one for our purposes is the Oracle 10G Express Edition. This is how it looks when it first comes up. When you go into My Programs, you can go to Get Started, which is this screen here. It goes over how to log in and some of the other details that are good. Uh, Once you log in, then you can go to this screen here. When you access this screen, you do it by going to My Programs, and you first have to start your database. This is how you start and stop your database. You can do it from the command line, but it's easier to just do it here in the GUI interface. You can also run the SQL command line from here, where you type in the commands like we do in the Oracle interface through the UNCC Oracle server. To actually go into the database, you click here, go to database homepage, database login screen, which is here, and you use the username and password that you established when you first load the Oracle server. And click login. When you log into it, this is the screen you'll see. This is administration, object browser, where you can actually go in and load the command line window here, where you can type in the commands. And here are some useful utilities and an application builder. I'll go over a little of this. In administration, you can look at some of the details of your Oracle server. For example, storage utilization. It shows you, it loads the window up in a browser. It will pull up Internet Explorer. So that's the actual window we're looking at here. So we can go back under administration. This is where you manage the users. You can get information about your database here, as far as version, settings, whatever. I'll click on version, and this shows the actual version. This is a 32-bit version here. They don't have a Express 64-bit version out yet. Go back to administration. When you go to database users, this is where you actually create and manage your users. I'll click manage users, and this shows the actual users that I have on my Oracle server. This Oracle server is located on one computer, and I access it also from another computer on my network. I'll show you a little of that when I switch over to the other computer. Going back, one of the things I like about having my own Oracle server where I can put in commands and create tables and do different things is that I can see it better than on the command line on the school server, because from there all you can do is see the output from entering commands in the command line. Here I can go to utilities, for instance, and look at objects. For example, if I wanted to look at the table columns, I could go here to columns, and from there I could see various table columns. As you see here, there are 145 different columns that I have. That was from a system, one of the system tables. Here on the contractors, the first one is CID for contractor ID. It shows us a number and how many digits there is in the number. Type, variable character 2, 45. So you can flip through here and see what is in your database. Here are other tables that I have: duties, employees, lease, function. So it gives you a good idea of what that is. We'll go back. We'll click the back button, and we can actually go in and click here for the SQL and actually enter. You can create SQL scripts that will perform different functions for you, or you can go to the enter command and it looks like the PLSQL window that you see on the UNCC server. For example, I can go here and see what user I am by select user from dual, run, and it shows that it's the user, that it's under anonymous user right now. You can, for example, take a look at the tables that you have. You can select all from user tables, for example. If you notice, I didn't put the semicolon here because in the PLSQL it runs either one, with or without the semicolons. But this shows the user tables that are in the system. For example, here the work order, payment type, duties, contractors. These are just some of the tables. As you see here, it's only showing 10 rows, and it says to increase the row selector to view more rows. So to do that, the display is the row detector. For example, if I wanted to show 30 rows instead of 20, in that case I would rerun my command. Here, the table, you see the column headings here for the description. If you go out, you'll see all of the other headings. So this shows all of the details for each of the tables. I will go ahead and run that command again. And now, instead of 10, you see that we have 30 different rows shown. And this is describing the 18 existing tables that we have. And not only that, it shows all of the details for each of the tables. For example, the tenants table, if I wanted to see what's in the tenants table, I would select all from tenants, and go over, click run again, and now it will show me the tenants table, and it shows me 30 rows, but it tells me I have more available. But this lets me see the output from the table. One of the things I like about using it here on my own machine is that on the UNCC one, it times out very quickly. Once it does time out, you can't see the history of the commands you've put in. Here, you can click on history, and it'll go back, and you can see all of the commands that you've put in. To our main menu. Here's some of these indicators here of memory usage and storage. Some of the other features that are good to look at that you may need for other things, or when you go to About Database, for instance, here you can look at the settings. Here are the settings for the database. One thing here, you'll see the name XE. When I show you, when we access it from another computer, I'll show you how we actually need that name of the database. It also shows when it was actually loaded. This was on 3/22/11. We'll go back. Another thing that you'll need sometimes is to go to About Database and actually see the parameters. Okay, here are the parameters of the database. There's a lot of things you can control with your database. So in class we talked a lot about the SQL code and how the database performs and everything, but this is where you actually see what's behind it. I'll scroll down and let you see some of the different parameters that you can actually go in and set. As you see, there's a lot of control that you have or can have over your Oracle server. Just as one example, for instance, when you look here at SMTP out server, we'll go across, and this is basically describing the port configuration and whether it's allowed for doing SMTP, which is the simple mail transfer protocol, for actually sending emails directly out of your Oracle server. Here you see you can control the number of sessions that are open, etc. Once again, here we have that service name, XE. You'll see that again. Down to the end of it. Let's go back. One of the really neat features of having your own Oracle server loaded is to be able to use this application builder. Here, I'll click on it, and here's where you can go in and actually create your own application. You put the name in and go through the steps, and it'll guide you straight through in creating your own application. You can have a blank one using reports, forms, whatever. And not only that, it'll actually be an application that it'll create all of the HTML code and whatever code you need to actually interface with the database and actually pull it up over the internet. Here, I'm going to go back and show you one of the sample applications that has already been built for you. We'll go back to home, and I've gone in under demonstrations and loaded the sample application here. We could run it from here, or we can come in and show you how it's done. You have your own application loaded. We'll go here under View Applications, and we see that we have the sample application here. If you have a lot of applications, you can actually type it in here and pull it up that way. We'll click on the sample application, and here where it says Run Applications, the sample application has these 15 pages here, or you can click over and go to the rest of the pages. We'll go ahead and run the application by just clicking here under Run Application. You can run it in demo mode or in admin mode. I'll do it first in demo mode and let you see how that looks. We'll log in, and it's coming up. You see how the application actually created an interface to the database for you. Here's some of the tasks that you can perform in this sample application. For example, home, this looks at the top orders. You can make the pages be whatever you want them to be. Here we'll go to customers, for instance. Under customers, if there are, you could have thousands of customers, for instance, and actually go through and search for them. Or you can click New Customer and enter a new customer. Here I'm going to go to View Source, and you can actually see the source code behind it. Here's the source code that creates it for you. As you can see, it's using JavaScript to create this, but here's the actual code behind this application that was created for you. You can either edit the code, or even better, just use the GUI application builder to create the pages for you. We'll close that out. So here we're actually adding customers to the database. Go over to products. We can actually view the products. Over here you see this is an actual query that looks at the top 10 products. Go over to orders. There's a calendar. So you see that the application builder has a lot of functionality. Let's log out and go in as admin. and the password is just the username in lowercase. For more functionality, I've loaded the SVG viewer to look at the chart. So let's refresh the screen. Accept. And now we can actually see an ActiveX demo of the total sales. Say for instance we want to edit one of the orders. We'll look here and just click here on this icon, and we can go in and actually edit the order. Cancel, delete, make changes, save changes to it. We'll go back. Add a new product. Categories of products. As you see, there's a lot of functionality in this application builder. And remember, this is in admin mode here, where we can actually go in and do functionality from an admin versus a user from the demo mode. So we'll log back out here. Click on Edit Application and go back in. So these are just some of the advantages of loading Oracle to your computer. Back to the home screen and log out.